Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions to us the ascension of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to the heavens from Al-Aqsa alladhi barakna hawla. Al-Masjid al-Aqsa, which we have blessed everything around it. The ascent of the Prophet ﷺ from that place to the highest place. Then we get to Surah Al-Kahf. I want you to see how central Palestine is to everything that you just read. When did Musa alayhi salam meet Al-Khadr alayhi salam? Al-Khadr or Al-Khidr, more commonly actually pronounced Al-Khadr in Ahadith. When did he meet him? When did this incident take place, which we started with tonight, where he went out to Al-Khadr alayhi salam and had this lesson of the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this incredible lesson about how God decrees. Does anyone know when that happened, at what point in his life? It happened after Musa alayhi salam and his people were unable to enter into Jerusalem, when they were in the wilderness. And that is actually one of the beautiful blessings of this, is that think if you are in the place of Musa alayhi salam, I am forbidden because of these people. I've been forbidden because of these people. And the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and understanding and coming terms with the decree of Allah. The last years of Musa alayhi salam would be spent at the borders of Palestine. Subhanallah. The borders of the Holy Land, because of the sins of his people. And Allah Azza wa Jal takes him on this journey to where he learns another layer of the qadr of Allah, the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم سأل موسى ربه أن يدنيه من الأرض المقدسة رمية بحجر. It's one of the most painful ahadith actually when you read it, that Musa alayhi salam said, it's in Sahih Muslim. When Musa was dying, he said, Ya Allah, I know I can't get in there because this is an istibdal. There's a new generation that will be able to go in there. But let me be as close as a stone's throw from it. And the Prophet ﷺ said, if I could show you his grave, تحت الكثيب الأحمر, under the red dune, where they now mark, and Allah knows best, Mount Nebo, where Musa alayhi salam passes away outside of the Holy Land. So the end of Surah Al-Kahf is Palestine, is Musa alayhi salam being given this lesson of the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, unable to enter into the Holy Land. And then comes Surah Maryam. Where does Surah Maryam start? It starts with Zakaria alayhi salam inside Masjid Al-Aqsa, calling upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant him a righteous generation. وَإِنِّي خِفْتُ الْمَوَالِي أَوْ خَفَّةُ الْمَوَالِي, both qira'at, that I don't see inheritors of this mission. فَهَبَ لِي مِن لَدُنْكَ وَلِيًّا. So grant me a successor that will continue this mission. So you have Zakaria alayhi salam now inside of Masjid Al-Aqsa calling upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah blesses him with Yahya alayhi salam in that holy land. And then Maryam alayhi salam's pregnancy starts. And Maryam alayhi salam comes with her baby Isa alayhi salam, where? Right in the courtyard of Al-Aqsa. As Al-Qurtubi rahimahullah says, she walked holding, فَأَتَتْ بِهِ قَوْمَهَا تَحْمِلُ. She went to her people, holding Isa alayhi salam in the courtyard of Al-Aqsa. And that scene where they circled around her and they started to point fingers at her and say all those nasty things about her, that's happening there in Al-Aqsa. قَالَ إِنِّي عَبْدُ اللَّهِ آتَانِيَ الْكِتَابَ وَجَعَلَنِي نَبِيًّا. And that discourse where Isa alayhi salam speaks for the first time, إِنِّي عَبْدُ اللَّهِ آتَانِيَ الْكِتَابَ وَجَعَلَنِي نَبِيًّا. Do you know, dear brothers and sisters, on the Dome of the Rock? And yes, because some people like to get very smart and they say, that's not Masjid Al-Aqsa. The Dome of the Rock is part of Al-Aqsa. Al-Qubbat al-Sakhra is part of the area of Al-Aqsa, by the way. It is all Al-Aqsa. On that Dome of the Rock, the calligraphy that is there is from Surah Maryam. Can you imagine? Where Isa alayhi salam once spoke those words, and those words are plastered now on the Dome of the Rock, and Isa alayhi salam will one day return to this earth and go to that very same spot where he first spoke those words. And then Yahya alayhi salam is martyred. And Isa alayhi salam receives the news that he has been upgraded from a Nabi to a Rasul, from a prophet to a messenger as well, at the age of 30 years old, while sitting in Masjid Al-Aqsa. Because he now inherits the next phase of his da'wah. It's there in Al-Aqsa as well. And then comes the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And guess what? When Ibrahim alayhi salam was expelled, where did he go? وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ وَلُوطًا إِلَى الْأَرْضِ الَّتِي بَارَكْنَا فِيهَا لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We granted refuge to Ibrahim alayhi salam and to Lut alayhi salam from their people, from their tyrants, and from, in the case of Lut alayhi salam, from his destroyed people. To what land were they granted refuge? It's there. Once again, it's back at that same place. Where did Yaqub alayhi salam cry his eyes out waiting for Yusuf alayhi salam to return to him? That place. Where is Ibrahim alayhi salam buried? That place. It's all in that place. That is truly a holy land. And so much of the Quran is situated in that place.